to be showing you how I do the Froggy pose. It's a composite image, meaning two images are taken and then merged together in Photoshop. And the reason this is done is so that baby is not actually holding their head up. So on the left I took a picture with me holding the baby's arms, and then on the right is the picture with me holding baby's head. And what I'm going to do is take those two images and merge them together to make one. So the way that I always do it is I take the clean head and place that on the other image. So what I do is just come up, select this, and select the area that I want to copy over. And then once I do that, I do Command C, and that has copied this image. And then I'm going to go back to the other one, and I'm going to do Control V, and I'm pasting this image on here. So then what I like to do is turn the opacity down so that I can see through it to kind of see where I'm going. And then I do Command T, which is going to allow me to drag that piece of the image around. And so what I'm trying to do is to match up around the eyes and then the sides of the face as much as I can. So the eyes are pretty close here, but if I look on this right side, I can see that it's not quite matching up. So what I'm going to do is hold down Shift and then move this side in to match it. And then that kind of messed up over here, so I'm going to come over here and hold Shift and pull that side in just a little bit as well. So then I start looking at around the head here. I'm not as worried about these features because I'm actually going to erase most of this. So I'm just making sure the baby is proportionate as far as the head when I place this new image on top. So it looks like the head is a little bit big here, so I'm going to Shift, bring down just a little bit to match that part up. And then everything looks pretty close here. I don't see anything sticking out or looking a little bit, maybe that ear right there. So I'm going to Shift and bring it over just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring that back just a little bit. There we go. And so what I'm doing when I'm putting these two together is the only part I'm really worried about is getting this top portion of the head here to match up on the final image. So the eyes are a little bit off here. The nose is a little bit off here, but that's okay because I'm going to erase all of that. So once I've got my image here where I want it, then I'm going to hit Enter, and that's going to lock it in place. I'm going to leave the opacity down while I'm doing this. So I'm going to come over here, click my eraser tool, and then I'm going to start erasing. And what I am erasing is anything from about the eyes down, because the other image still has the clean eyes, nose, mouth, so I don't really need to copy all that over. So I'm just erasing all of that. So I'm kind of going in here. Now when I look at this ear here, I see that there's a little bit of difference, but I don't want to get too close because of this headband. So I'm going to make my brush smaller, and then I'm just going to erase here a little bit and clean that up. Side over here looks good. So once I do the first pass through, and then I just erase these sides here where I don't need it copied. Okay, so once I've got that erased pretty good, then I'm going to turn the opacity all the way back up to 100. And then I can see if there's anything that's out of place or sticking out. So just looking at it first glance right here looks pretty good. I'm going to erase right there, but see, there's a spot right here where it looks like maybe it's not lined up, but it's actually how the way her face was there. So there's not anything I can erase. Everything looks pretty good. So then from here what I do is I just click this layer off and kind of see how it looked before. Click that layer back on just to look for anything that looks off. And then I'm going to turn my opacity down one more time. I'm going to come back in here by her ear here and just make sure there's nothing sticking out that shouldn't be. And then the same thing on this side, the ears, just kind of make sure that they are in place. And then once that looks good, then I'm going to turn the opacity all the way back up. And there you go. So that's how I take the two images and merge them together. So if I turn that off, I had this image with my hand holding her head, and then I pasted over this image here. So from here, what I would do is I would flatten my image. So I would do Command F, and then I want to get rid of all of these little extra marks up here because that's just where it copied from over. So I take my tool here and I just come down, and then I hit Delete, Enter, and that's going to replace that area. So then I come up here, do the same thing. I'm going to select all the way across. I'm going to hit Delete and Enter, and that's going to fill that area in there. So then the next steps I would do would be to completely edit the image and just clean it up. I'm not going to do that in this video. I can do a separate one, but I just wanted to show you how I would do the composite. And so then what you can do is go back and look at your history, and you can see what you started with, and then Command Z, here's what you end with. So that's it. Thank you guys.